The main types of visas for non-EU citizens for Spain are: 1, the non-lucrative visa, which is the non-working visa, ideal for anybody who is retired and wants to move to Spain. Then you also have the digital nomad visa. So the digital nomad visa is for anybody who can work remotely in Spain for a company that is based in another country. You also have the work visa. So the work visa is the employment visa. Okay? So, for example, one of the popular ones is English teachers working for private schools here in Spain with the English curriculum. So the company would apply to the Foreigners Office to get approval for the non-EU citizen to work in Spain, and then they would apply for the work visa at the Spanish consulate. And you also have the self-employment visa. The self-employment visa is quite a long process, but it's if you want to effectively start a business in Spain, working as self-employed. You don't necessarily have to set up a company in Spain. And that visa, you would have to have a viable business plan, first of all, about what you are going to do in Spain, how you're going to grow the business, and you would then go to the Spanish consulate and you would apply for approval of the viable business plan. Now, the approval of that business plan has no turnaround time, so it can be anything from 6 months to up to a year. So that's what makes that process very long for the self-employment visa. However, the non-lucrative visa, after 1 year, you can apply for a modification to work in Spain, or a modification to actually go self-employed in Spain. You still need that viable business plan about what you're going to do, but the difference is the approval time is 3 months. So those are the main types of visas that are the most common that non-EU citizens apply for. The differences in the costs for these types of visa is the non-lucrative visa, for example, has very set costs because it has very set documentation, even down to the consulate fee, the Spanish consulate fee, per person. That works out at £568 with all the costs. So it is per applicant, even if it's for a dependent child, that fee is still the same. So you probably need to budget for the documentation around to get all the documentation together, probably around £300 per person. Then you have that consulate fee of £568. The renewals for the non-lucrative visa is a much simpler process because you don't need some of the documentation that you actually presented at the Spanish consulate when you initially applied for the non-lucrative visa. So here you no longer need the UK clean criminal record certificate. You no longer need to prove that you don't have any contagious diseases with the GP letter. And if you are married, and when you applied for the non-lucrative visa initially at the Spanish consulate, you would have taken proof with you that you're married. When you do the renewal, you've already proved that, so you don't need to prove that again. However, from the 20th of May, we have a legislation change, and you need to have spent more than 183 days per Spanish tax calendar year to qualify for the 2-year renewal periods. So that is also going to be a requirement to show that you have spent that time in Spain.